What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down CEEDEE Lamb and his 2019-2020 route running ability. Guys, people are saying that he's probably the most complete receiver in the draft class, and I did a recent breakdown this week on Jerry Jeudy, so it's going to be fun to compare the two. We're going to talk about what makes him such a complete wide receiver and his underrated route running ability and his blocking ability, and just some highlights from him training for the draft, okay? So, and also receivers, if you want to improve your football IQ, if you want to get better reading coverages, understanding defenses, and be a second quarterback on the field, check out that link in the description. All right, let's get started. So the first thing he's going to be working here is kind of this almost kind of like a diamond release, but it's going to be 2 hard steps outside to get this DB to commit his hips. Then he's going to work back inside and run this dig route with like this triple rocker step at the top. Okay, so let's watch this thing full speed, and then we'll break it down. So 1, 2, cuts back inside, 1, 2, 3. Now, we're going to talk about what they're exactly working right here and why he works this move at the top. So the main thing I want to talk about is the whole goal of this release is to get this DB to overcommit, right? So if he overcommits his hips, that's fine. We just want to react to the inside, okay? We don't want to commit so much to this move, and then let's say he does shuffle with us, he still gave up ground to the inside, and we can work back inside, right? So it's just here. It's 1, 2. Now, you see when he works this move to the outside, he commits his shoulders and he commits his eyes. This DB doesn't have a choice in this situation, right? Because if he shuffles, it's going to have to be a very, very quick shuffle, and he's not going to be able to change direction back as fast as we're going, right? So this is like an off-man catch technique situation. Eyes to the outside, commits his body, and he's going to go hard for 2 steps. 1, 2. Now, you see how that second step here, shoulders are fully committed, but it's sudden. But he's not like, it's not choppy steps. You know what I mean? I see a lot of people do this, and they take these choppy steps. That's when a DB will just slide with us and be able to play us and get hands on us, right? But because he came out and he ran 1, 2, gets his DB to overcommit. Now, let's get back here and let's attack this blind spot. We're in this blind spot now, forcing him to speed turn out of there. Now he's playing catch up, right? So I work up to my depth, and I'm here 1. So it's going to be a triple rocker step. So what this first move, you want to make this first move in the direction opposite of where you're cutting, right? So if it was just a normal rocker step, you'd want to make that first move towards the direction that you're cutting, but because it's a triple move, you want the opposite. So it's going to be here, and you see it's 1, 2, 3. Now what that 1, 2, 3 is doing is, let's say we're at the top of the route, right? And let's say we get this guy with a rocker step one time. Okay, he's expecting that. We're not going to bite on that again. So we go 1, 2, and then we're committing my shoulders on this third step here to get this DB to bite underneath, head and shoulders to the outside, very sudden with my foot, and explode out. Now the main thing I want you to see about this rocker step here is how his shoulders are running with his feet. We want my upper half to be separate from my lower half. So when I make this stick to the left, my body's working to the left. And then when I make this stick to the right here, my body's working to the right. And you see how he's turning his hips, he's turning his numbers. His hips are very loose. That's what makes a great route runner, and being able to do that at the top of the route, having loose hips. And then when he makes that third step, so 2, 3, and again, what's happening? His numbers turning, his hips turning, because when this guy's trailing us, when we work to restack him, he's trailing us, he's looking at that back hip. So if I can make my hips separate, right? And if he does have hands on me, his hand is going to be on the middle of my back. If I'm turning my body, that's what's going to get me the most separation, right? And then when I come off of that break, I'm accelerating out. That's a great job. This is great work by CEEDEE Lamb, making it as realistic as possible. Guys, when we're working, whether you're with a coach, whether you're on your own, whether you're just running routes with your quarterback, let's make it as realistic as possible, working a realistic release. 2 hard steps to the outside, get this DB to overcommit, attack that blind spot, 1, 2, 3, right at the top of the route, triple rocker step. Let's watch it full speed one more time. So coming out 1, 2, getting that blind spot 1, 2, 3. That's a great work by CEEDEE Lamb right there. Okay, so now he's going to be running a speed out here. We're going to talk a lot about his run after the catch, right? Because that's what a lot of people are saying, what makes him such a dangerous receiver. And then we're going to get into his blocking after that. And this is a speed out with no indicator. So you see your full speed, no indicator out. Let's just get in and out of this thing. Okay, so the main thing I want to talk about with this is how when we're running a no indicator out, speed is very important. Okay, and obviously speed's important in every single route. Tempo's important in every single route, but I can't spend a whole lot of time with this indicator with a heavy stick, because this DB, I'm running out full speed. I'm attacking him right now. Well, I'm not really closing the gap, but he's still in a back pedal, right? We're still getting him in a back pedal. I just want to come out and round this thing. But you see when he rounds it, he doesn't pick his pad level up. He just is still in this explosive position. He's in a low center of gravity, and he's coming off this break on this no indicator route, right? No indicator out, just rounding it off, pumping those arms, snaps that head back around. QB gives him the ball. Now it's his time to work, right? So when we work, we got to always be in this explosive position anytime we have the ball after the catch, right? This is how you improve your after the catch, being able to run after the catch. So you see how he's always going forward, and no matter what he does, he's never going backwards. He's always going forward. That's what a lot of people don't get. They try to make too many moves, try to make too much happen. CeeDee Lamb is great, and Jerry Jeudy as well as another guy who's great after the catch because they're always going forward. They can explode and then go forward. And you see this here. He's just always going forward. Avoids a tackle here. Stops right on a dime. You know what I mean? Having great body control and just working forward, always going forward in a good explosive pad level position. That's what makes a great receiver after the catch. Not trying to do too much. Every move that you make, we're always just trying to move forward with it. That's how we get a better run after the catch. Because people ask me all the time, how can I improve my run after the catch? How can I be dangerous after I get the ball in my hands, right? And this is a perfect example of how to do that. You don't want to be trying to do too much. You don't want to make 15 moves and stop your feet. You want to be going forward. You want to be able to change direction on a dime. And how do you improve that? You get better body control. You get a little bit stronger. You get a little bit more explosive, and that helps with your cuts. Your feet get a little bit more sudden. Being a receiver is not just about catching the ball, running the route. We got to make something happen after the catch. Let's watch this thing full speed one more time. So again, no indicator route, stays in a good pad level position. Let's get upfield. Always going forward, always working forward. Pad level stays in explosive position, being able to change direction right on a dime, then get back up vertical. That's all we got to do here. It's a great job by CeeDee Lamb. Okay, so now we're going to talk about this block, knocking this DB on his ass. Okay, so now the main thing I want to talk about here is even when I can assume this is probably just a run to the right and he's just was told to occupy this corner, right? So, but now here's the thing that I want to talk about with receivers, how this sets the tone early. If you do this, the first drive, you guys are on the goal line and you knock this DB on his ass, he does not want any part of this jam. He doesn't want any part of this block. He's going to be scared because it sets the tone early, right? We got to set the tone early. Now, how do we set this thing up? You see how he's moving his feet here, working his feet, getting his DB, watching those hips, getting his feet active, getting him in a back pedal, right? Now, we just come at him and shoot my hips and be physical. Anytime we see a DB in this real low position right here, it looks like he's in a good base, but see how he's kind of hunched forward, right? That's not really, I would necessarily consider an explosive position, right? CeeDee Lamb's in an explosive position. He's walking him down, he's walking forward, and he's got this good pad level position. Anytime we see a DB with not a strong base, like maybe let's say his feet are super narrow, or let's say he's standing up too tall now, there's that gray area, right, where it's a good stance, or he's standing a little bit too low, where his chest is down, or he's standing a little bit too high. Let's say he had to run a slant in this situation, right? If you see this DB here and he's real low, you could tell he's not real balanced, his feet are flat. Let's come out, let's just knock him over, and then let's get up into this route, right? And that sets the tone early because that's going to start, this right here is going to start giving you space on your routes. Guys who struggle to get off of the jam, right, or guys who know that they got a physical corner, let's set the tone early and let's be physical off the line of scrimmage rather than wait for this guy to come be physical to us. Receivers, it's a very attack mindset position. We can't let it happen to us. We got to go forward and we got to make it happen. You know what I mean? And then we got to react off of whatever situation the DB throws at us, but understanding technique, understanding that a DB's stance in this situation here is not very balanced, and we could just come forward, explode from my hips. That's what's going to make a good explosive block, and then knock this DB on his ass. Set the tone early. That's a great job by CeeDee Lamb, and also working this release. And you can see here, he's still in this catch technique, disciplined man, right? He's not trying to jam him. He's not trying to get off balance at the line of scrimmage, going two hands on him because CeeDee Lamb's a bigger receiver than him, right? So bigger receivers, we got to be physical. Let's watch this thing full speed one more time. So coming out, shoot those hips, be physical. Set the tone early. Cannot stress that enough. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Please leave in the comments any questions you guys have. I will make sure to get back to you guys. And again, if you want to improve your football IQ, if you're a receiver and you want to start thinking like a quarterback, getting on the same page as your quarterback, and ultimately getting the ball more because the quarterback knows you're on the same page, check out that link in the description. I'll see you guys next time.